Wow, look at this, guys. We're in season 3 of Kicking It with Karen Beyond Sauerkraut. Let's look at some reasons to drink fermented cabbage juice. Cabbage is known to provide possible protection against cancer. It's effective against candida. It's effective against ulcers. And most importantly, it is antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal. Let's get into how we can make this.
Hi, welcome to Kicking It with Karen Beyond Sauerkraut, Season 3, Episode 3. We're back to using our cabbages, but this time we're going to do something different. Recently, I've been doing some one-on-one sauerkraut classes with people from YouTube and Facebook. I've really enjoyed myself, but last week I had the privilege of doing a sauerkraut class with a young man of 81 years old named Charles Hancock. Charles has the channel on YouTube, The Old Alabama Gardener, and in the process of doing our class, he taught me about something I hadn't even considered. He said, have you ever fermented the sauerkraut and made the juice? Well, no, I hadn't, but here's what he had to say.
Now, I also tried making, and I was successful with this on a couple occasions, something called fermented cabbage juice.
Huh.
Now, and it's not kraut. You don't eat the cabbage that's left over. You throw that away. I'll put it in compost, but and then you strain it out and you drink that liquid, and it has a good tart flavor, you know, kind of like the kraut would be.
How do you make that?
But
How do you make that?
I can send you the recipe that I use. Basically, you chop up, and I do it in a Vitamix.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you don't pulverize the cabbage. You just chop it up to where it's about, maybe like you would for slaw, for coleslaw. Okay, and then you mix a certain amount of water. I think it was a cup and 3/4 of water and some certain amount of salt. I'll send you the recipe.
Okay.
And then you put some kind of a lid on it. But now that one, I think, as I recall, I think you tighten the lid down and don't let it have any other interaction.
Right. How long does it ferment?
Well, it'll take it. I forgot now exact, so don't quote me on this, but it'll be a week or two. Now, once you've made your first batch, then when you make your second batch, you use about a half a cup of that previous batch, and it ferments in 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I liked it. It was another way to get some probiotics into your body. You know, so that's what it amounted to.
And I also had an opportunity to watch his video. So we're going to take his recipe and we're going to embellish it a little. I want my cabbage juice to have a bit more zing and a little bit more power. So we're going to add some ginger and some pineapple. I just had some leftover pineapple, so I went ahead and thought, that'd be good. I've done a pineapple sauerkraut before. Why wouldn't it be good in the juice? This recipe calls for a head of cabbage, about 2 cups of pineapple, 3 fingers of ginger, and no, you don't have to peel it, 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Of course, I've kept my outer cabbage leaves for the top of the juice while it's fermenting. And to speed it up a little bit, I don't have any fermented cabbage juice at the ready, but I do have Bubby's spicy pickle juice handy. And this is fermented too. We're going to use those healthy microbes and use it as a fermentation starter. Okay, let's get to chopping. Charles says give this a rough chop at first, because what's going to happen is this is going to go into the Vitamix. So we're going to cut off that. Cut it in half. We're going to cut out the core. And chop it up. I'm going to chop 1/2 at a time. Now, I think we do a rough chop because it makes it easier on the Vitamix. Okay, we're going to put this in a measuring cup for right now. And actually, I think a half of a big cabbage like this is enough. Charles calls for 4 cups, and I think we're looking at 6 at the moment. So this is 6 cups. This will be just fine. Okay, let's cut up that ginger. I'm just going to do small discs. And no, you don't have to peel it. Oh, that smells so good. Great, let's load that into the Vitamix. And don't forget about that pineapple. That's about 2 cups. There we go. We're going to pour that in here for right now, and then we'll get the other batch. That's the rest of the salt. There we go. I'm going to mix it all together and add in the pickle juice. Okay. It's an interesting slurry. Okay. Turn that off real quick. We want about a 1/4 cup or a 1/2 cup of pickle juice. Let's see what I decide to do. This is a spicy sour pickle juice, and it's not going to disflavor this at all because the pineapple is going to get stronger in its citrus taste, and the ginger is so pungent it's going to overpower this. So, since it's a spicy pickle juice, it might actually give it a little bit of spice. I'm going to do a 1/2 cup. And that, my dears, is going to make it pow! 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 Let's stir it up a little bit. I wonder if I have another gallon jar. I hope so. I don't want to mix that too much because too much aggravation will kill the probiotics in the pickle juice, and we don't want that. We want them to work with the sugars in the cabbage and in the pineapple and in the ginger and create a really good probiotic tonic. All right, we're going to pour this in a gallon jar, then we're going to cover it with plastic and then an airlock, and I'll show you how all that works in a moment. So, I'm trying not to splash all over. Okay. This may have actually fit in a 1/2 gallon jar, but I didn't want to risk it. The good thing about this, you guys, is it's a short ferment. It's between 24 and 48 hours. And since my kitchen is kind of warm because I've been doing a lot of roasting, this may only take 36 hours, even in Minnesota. And because I always like to taste things in their raw state first, and you know if it tastes good in its raw state, it's going to taste terrific in its fermented state. So here we go. It smells sweet. A little spicy from the pickle juice and from the ginger, I think. Oh my, that tastes like a breakfast drink. That's going to be really interesting. We need to cover this up. Oh, no. I wanted to put a cabbage leaf over the top and press down. That way the oxygen won't get to the ferment. My hope is that this will help prevent yeast and mold. But since it's only a 3-day ferment, there shouldn't be much of a chance for that to happen. Okay, and over here. So if you were doing this in a smaller jar, you would want to make sure you have about 1.5 to 2 inches of headroom, because when this starts to ferment, the CO2 is going to push everything up. Oftentimes when I am doing ferments, I fill it up too high and the brine spills over out of the lid. So you consider that when you're making your ferments. All right. So why do I do this? Because my fermentation lid doesn't have a gasket or doesn't have a ring on the middle. So this is to help me prevent bugs from getting inside and other things like gnats and flies and all of that. So it seals all the way around here. Then I screw on the lid, I take a chopstick, pop through, and that way I can get my airlock on there. Put some water in there and it's good to go. These airlocks, when I first got these, they were like $8 for a 3-pack. Looking at Amazon, the average cost right now is about $14.99, anywhere between $10.99 and $14.99. So they are worth it. I've had these for 5 years, and what I would say is I might need to start replacing them soon, but I've gotten really good use out of them. So that's it. I'm gonna be back in 2 days. I will strain this out and you'll see that process, and then we will taste the fermented cabbage juice with pineapple and ginger. So this is going to go over into the fermentation station for the next 2 days, and when we come back, I'll be tasting it with you. All right, just got done with my workday and I'm noticing I really have to get back to this fermented cabbage juice. You'll see in a minute. Okay, you can see that it's completely changed color, and the leaf that was capping it off has been pushed up from the CO2. So we know this is done. It's been done for about 2 days, so let's get this going. All right, so what we're gonna do is take the leaf out, put that to the side. I'm not going to keep this one because there's a lot of air. It seems like a lot of air circulating around in there, and I don't know what yeasts or bacteria are sitting on top of that leaf. Underneath, though, I know it's safe because that has not been exposed to any air. So we're going to take the lid off, take the leaf out. We're going to strain it using a plastic strainer. Remember that ferments don't like metal. It messes with their pH balance. Let's go ahead and do that. It smells like sweet and sour pineapple sauerkraut, which basically it's a fermented cabbage juice with ginger and pineapple. So this is going to be really interesting. Okay. Okay, you get the hint. We're gonna keep mashing this out and getting it in here. Then we'll do a second strain on it, and I'll come back to you when we're almost complete with the process. I'm gonna use my nut milk bag to do the second strain on it. And it just barely fits. All right, now it's time to taste. Okay. I'm going to take this shot glass to fill this drink. With the mash, you can compost it if you have chickens. I guess chickens like cabbage mash, so you can do something productive with this. All right, here we go. First of all, I want to thank the Old Alabama Gardener for the original recipe, and then I think I want to thank myself because I think this is going to taste really great. Smells really interesting. Oh gosh, that's good. That's almost like a savory pineapple juice, but it's sweet and tart at the same time. It doesn't taste like sauerkraut. It tastes like a fermented juice. And it has that fizz right at the end. It's perfectly carbonated, perfectly fermented. Gosh, I'm really glad I tried this. This is what I'm going to drink first thing every morning for that good gut bacteria to strengthen my immune system. So this isn't going into the fermentation station. This is going into the scary refrigerator. Well, I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to comment and share this video. Share this video, share this video. That's how I get my message out to the world. And to all of you, health and happiness. Bye-bye!